What about the Georgia Bulldogs? So Gunnar Stockton obviously comes in for Carson Beck in the SEC championship game, but they are not able to punch their way through once they make it to the college football playoff, falling short against Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl. I guess he's running QB1, but I think we've got a situation here where I'm sounding like a Notre Dame fan. I don't know if I'm ready to like throw Stockton out there. Other options based on what I can tell, Ryan Puglisi and Ryan Montgomery. So do either of these Ryans end up taking down Gunner there in Athens?
It would not shock me if Puglisi makes a run at this. I would be pretty surprised if Montgomery is that guy as a freshman. I don't know that he has that kind of upside right now. They might like some of his long-term possibilities, but Puglisi has some real juice. I know, like, he threw the ball in baseball. He was like a mid-90s kid, apparently. So, like, that's obviously pretty legit. I think I don't know. Like, I don't think Stockton sucked. He played pretty damn well against Texas, but I mean, maybe he's just that dude. Georgia will certainly have a lot better receivers this year, I think, than last year, because you're not asking some of these guys to play roles, by which you never intended, assuming that, Georgia's guys are on the roster, are still on the roster, come fall. But like last year, the Mississippi State kid who they had to boot, and then the dude they took from Miami who ended up like not being able to play for a while because of the arrest thing, which I think got resolved.
Young?
Yeah.
Colby Young.
Isn't Colby back? And he went out and got Noah Thomas from Texas A&M. So like whoever whoever is throwing the ball is going to have better guys to throw to.
First of all, Puglisi, we know he wouldn't start at Notre Dame. The Irish fans would hate him.
All this anti-Italian discrimination in South Bend.
My thought process here is, like, we've seen Kirby tend to lean on the veteran guy more. Like, I think Kirby values experience, particularly at that position. And we've seen him over the years go that way. So I would think Stockton, because he's been there, has that kind of edge. But if Puglisi plays well enough to kind of earn his way onto the field, that wouldn't shock me. But I do think come that first game of the season, it'll be Gunnar Stockton, because I do think he showed some pretty interesting flashes when called upon. I think he's got a very strong arm. I think he has a lot to learn about harnessing it and how to use it. But I do think that he's got that kind of moxie factor that we've seen Georgia really appreciate in their quarterbacks. So I think he'll get it. I think he'll be the starter to begin the season. We'll see how it goes from there.
Yeah, I think he's going to get the nod. I think this is right up Kirby's alley, kind of chip on the shoulder guy, because you have so many guys that are 5 stars, player of the years, like future NFL prospects. To have your quarterback with that little chip on your shoulder, kind of as a leader, the speaker for the offense, and really step up as a leader on the team. I mean, the way those players talked about him last year was, see a guy they were going to rally around, and it made you wonder what they thought of Carson Beck. I think we probably know that answer now, but I think it's probably his job week 1. It's kind of like you got to screw it up, in order for him not to be the starter.
Tiger, Georgia, Rabun County, just like that was such a,
he's not driving no Lambo around campus. You can almost guarantee you that. But somebody I think even said that was like, he's a Ford F-150 guy. And it was a badge of honor that he wasn't. There's something to that.
Yeah. The culture clash. Ryan Puglisi from Avon, Connecticut against Gunnar Stockton.
That's my old neighborhood.
Georgia. Let's see what happens. Shout out to Caroline Davenport.
Connecticut Yankee in Athens.
Guaranteed the quarterback position will be less douchey.
Yeah,
it's a good thing.
It's true. Adjust your power ratings, your Chipalytics and the Bud Bot. Plug it in. We are taking the douche levels. You got to power it, throttle it down, as they say for the Bulldogs.
Maybe we'll save this for a different episode, because I think we have enough here for like multiple episodes on this. But Dylan Bell, who I think can go back to being a guy they scheme open, not have to run real routes. Colby Young's back. They got Noah Thomas from Texas A&M. You get Zach Branch, who's a different kind of scheme it open for him type guy. Like, who do they really miss off this team? I mean, like, you might miss Arian, but he's not that much faster than Zach.
You're just talking about pass catchers, right?
Correct. Yeah.
I think they missed some offensive linemen, and I think that like part of the Georgia, when we're talking about the small margins that take Georgia from being a monster to just being one of the very best teams in college football, being able to run the football effectively behind a good offensive line with good backs, that was something that I felt was missing. And I think that that's being more effective in the ground game is on the checklist of what I would like to see Georgia do better if they're going to get back up to monster status.
And your two tight ends don't suck. Like Lawson Lucky and Oscar Delp are both back.
Yeah.
So I like who you're throwing to.